A fragile hope UN proposal seeks to bridge the divide. The recent eruption of violence between Israel and Hamas has once again plunged the region into chaos, leaving a trail of devastation and despair in its wake. As the international community grapples with the urgency of the situation, the UN Security Council has taken a significant step by proposing a ceasefire agreement. This fragile hope for peace aims to bring an end to the hostilities and pave the way for a more permanent solution. The UN proposal calls for an immediate cessation of hostilities from both sides. It emphasizes the need to protect civilian lives and infrastructure, recognizing the immense human cost of the conflict. The proposal also calls for unimpeded humanitarian access to Gaza, where the humanitarian crisis continues to worsen with each passing day. The UN's efforts to broker a ceasefire are a testament to the international community's commitment to finding a peaceful resolution to the conflict. The proposal represents a crucial opportunity for both sides to step back from the brink and engage in meaningful dialogue. However, the path to peace is fraught with challenges, and the success of the ceasefire hinges on the willingness of both Israel and Hamas to embrace this opportunity for de-escalation. Cautious optimism. U.S. welcomes ceasefire efforts. Uncertainty remains. The United States, a key player in the Middle East peace process, has welcomed the UN's ceasefire proposal. Describing it as a hopeful sign, the U.S. administration has expressed cautious optimism about the potential for de-escalation. However, officials remain aware of the complexities surrounding the conflict and the challenges in securing a lasting ceasefire. Israel, while acknowledging the international pressure for a ceasefire, has so far refrained from fully committing to the UN proposal. Concerns about the safety of its citizens, coupled with a desire to weaken Hamas's military capabilities, continue to factor into Israel's strategic calculations. Hamas, too, has responded to the ceasefire proposal with ambiguity. While expressing a willingness to consider a ceasefire under certain conditions, the group remains firm in its demands for an end to the blockade on Gaza and international recognition. The group's internal dynamics and its relationship with other regional actors further complicate the situation. The cautious responses from both Israel and Hamas highlight the fragility of the situation. The international community faces an uphill battle in bridging the divide and securing a ceasefire that is both durable and addresses the underlying issues fueling the conflict. Netanyahu's gambled domestic pressures and the high stakes of peace. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu faces a complex political calculus as he navigates the ceasefire negotiations. Domestically, he faces pressure from hawkish elements within his government and the public who demand a decisive military victory against Hamas. These voices argue for a continuation of the offensive until Hamas's military capabilities are significantly degraded. On the other hand, Netanyahu is also acutely aware of the mounting international pressure for a ceasefire and the growing concerns about the humanitarian situation in Gaza. The Biden administration, while expressing support for Israel's right to defend itself, has also signaled its growing impatience with the continued violence. The ceasefire proposal presents Netanyahu with a high-stakes gamble. Accepting the ceasefire could be perceived by his domestic opponents as a sign of weakness and a betrayal of his promise to ensure Israel's security. However, rejecting the ceasefire risks further alienating international partners and could lead to greater diplomatic isolation for Israel. Netanyahu's decision on the ceasefire will have far-reaching implications, not only for his own political future but also for the future of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. The world watches with bated breath as he weighs his options, acutely aware that the stakes have never been higher. Section 4. The world watches geopolitical implications of the ceasefire negotiations. The ongoing conflict between Israel and Hamas has sent shockwaves across the globe, drawing attention to the volatile situation in the Middle East and its broader geopolitical implications. The outcome of the ceasefire negotiations will have profound consequences for the region and beyond. The conflict has inflamed tensions between Israel and its Arab neighbors, threatening to unravel the fragile peace accords established in recent years. The violence has also fueled anti-Semitism and Islamophobia globally, highlighting the urgent need for dialogue and understanding. The conflict has also drawn in regional and global powers, each with its own interests and agendas. The United States, Russia, and China, permanent members of the UN Security Council, find themselves once again grappling with the complexities of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. The ceasefire negotiations represent a crucial test for the international community's ability to address and resolve such complex conflicts. The world is watching closely, hoping that diplomacy and dialogue will prevail over violence and destruction. Section 5. A long road ahead, the future of peace and stability in the region. The UN's ceasefire proposal, while a glimmer of hope, represents only the first step on a long and arduous road towards lasting peace and stability in the region. Even if a ceasefire is agreed upon, the underlying issues that gave rise to the conflict remain largely unaddressed. The root causes of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, including the status of Jerusalem, the right of return for Palestinian refugees, and the expansion of Israeli settlements, continue to fuel tensions and mistrust between the two sides. Achieving a sustainable peace will require a fundamental shift in the dynamics of the conflict. Both sides must demonstrate a genuine commitment to dialogue and compromise, moving beyond the cycle of violence and retribution. The international community has a crucial role to play in supporting these efforts. Sustained diplomatic engagement, economic assistance, and a commitment to upholding international law are essential for creating an environment conducive to peace. The road ahead is long and fraught with challenges, but the pursuit of peace remains the only viable path forward. The future of the region, and indeed the world, depends on the ability of all stakeholders to seize this moment and work together towards a just and lasting solution.